Commander Marcus Chen adjusted his collar as he stepped into the pristine corridors of the Serenity's Dawn, the Galactic Council's newest diplomatic vessel. The artificial gravity felt lighter than Earth standard, a necessity to accommodate the various species aboard. He nodded politely to a passing Velthari delegate, their crystalline features catching the soft bioluminescent lighting. "Commander Chen," came the melodic voice of First Officer Yilath, her 6 arms gracefully managing 3 different data tablets simultaneously. The hexapodal's natural efficiency never ceased to amaze him. "Captain Mordak wishes to see you on the bridge immediately. We have a situation." Marcus maintained his carefully practiced expression of mild concern as he followed her through the ship's corridors. Around them, crew members of a dozen species went about their duties with barely contained anxiety. He could smell it. Fear had a universal scent, it seemed, regardless of which world one called home. The bridge buzzed with nervous energy. Captain Mordak, a towering Krillian with 4 eyes and natural armor plating, turned as Marcus approached. The captain's translator implant rendered his clicking speech into standard galactic. "Commander, thank the void you're here. Your experience with dangerous situations is precisely what we need." Mordak's eyes moved nervously. "We have confirmation. There's a Deathworlder aboard our ship." Marcus felt his heart rate increase slightly, not from fear but from the familiar thrill of a perfectly executed deception. He furrowed his brow in what he knew other species interpreted as deep concern. "A Deathworlder? Are you certain, Captain?" Our security screening was quite thorough. Science Officer Zephyr, a gaseous being contained in an environmental suit, rippled with distress. "The biomarkers don't lie, Commander. Our sensors detected trace proteins consistent with a Class 12 Deathworld inhabitant. The bone density readings, the muscle fiber composition, the redundant organ systems." Their voice trailed off in what passed for a shudder among their species. Marcus nodded gravely. Of course the sensors had detected those markers. They were scanning him every moment he walked these halls. The beauty of it was that no one suspected the friendly human liaison officer who'd served with distinction on 3 previous diplomatic missions. "What's our protocol for this situation?" Marcus asked, knowing full well he'd helped write those very protocols during his time at Galactic Command. Captain Mordak's mandibles clicked anxiously. "Immediate containment and sedation. Deathworlders are unpredictable. One moment they're docile, the next they're tearing through bulkheads with their bare appendages. We've all heard the stories from the Terraform Wars." "Indeed," Marcus replied solemnly. He'd been there during the Terraform Wars, of course, though not in the capacity these beings assumed. "Shall I coordinate the search teams? I have experience with containment protocols." "Yes, perfect. Your steady nerves will be invaluable. The crew is understandably concerned." Marcus suppressed a smile. Steady nerves, indeed. He'd been walking among them for 6 months, sharing meals, attending cultural exchanges, even participating in their meditation rituals. They'd grown comfortable with the fragile human who needed special atmospheric controls and couldn't lift anything heavier than a standard data pad without assistance. "I'll organize teams to search every section," Marcus said, already mentally cataloging which areas he'd direct them away from first. "We'll need to be systematic. Deathworlders are clever. They might try to hide in plain sight." Over the next several hours, Marcus masterfully orchestrated the most thorough search in Galactic Council history for himself. He stationed the strongest Krillian guards at exits he had no intention of using. He directed the most perceptive Menthari telepaths to sections of the ship he'd never visited. He even suggested increasingly sophisticated scanning techniques that would, coincidentally, fail to account for standard human emotional suppression training. "Commander," called Security Chief Vaktar, his reptilian features showing exhaustion, "we've searched 90% of the ship. No sign of the Deathworlder. Could it have escaped somehow?" Marcus frowned thoughtfully while internally marveling at the irony. "Unlikely. Our sensors still show the biomarkers present. It's here somewhere." He paused for effect. "Perhaps we're thinking about this wrong. What if this Deathworlder isn't hiding? What if it's integrated somehow?" The bridge fell silent. Captain Mordak's 4 eyes widened in horror. "You mean disguised? Among the crew?" "It's possible," Marcus said gravely. "Deathworlders are remarkably adaptable. They might be using pheromone suppressors, posture modification, even behavioral mimicry. The suggestion sent waves of panic through the bridge. Crew members began eyeing each other suspiciously. Marcus watched with professional admiration as paranoia took hold, another uniquely human trait that served him well. "What do we do?" whispered First Officer Yilath. Marcus straightened, projecting confidence and authority. "We implement Protocol 7, individual biometric assessment of every crew member, cross-referenced with their original medical data. If there's a Deathworlder among us, we'll find them." As the crew scrambled to set up the testing stations, Marcus volunteered to oversee the process. He made a show of reviewing each crew member's results, occasionally frowning at readings that were naturally perfectly normal. Finally, as the last crew member was tested, Captain Mordak approached him. "Commander, there's one more test to run." Marcus looked up innocently. "Oh, have we missed someone?" "You, Commander. Protocol requires everyone to be tested." Marcus nodded without hesitation. "Of course. I should have thought of that myself." He approached the scanner with the confidence of someone who had spent years learning to mask his true physiological readings. The device hummed as it took its measurements. Marcus waited patiently as the results appeared on screen. Captain Mordak studied the readings, his expression shifting from suspicion to relief to profound embarrassment. "Commander, these readings show you're the Deathworlder." Marcus allowed genuine surprise to cross his features. Surprise at being caught, not at the accusation itself. That's impossible," he said quietly. "The readings don't lie. Bone density 300% above galactic average. Muscle efficiency rating off the charts. Your cardiovascular system." Mordak trailed off in amazement. "How?" Marcus sighed, letting his carefully maintained posture relax slightly. Immediately he seemed larger, more solid, more present. The crew took an unconscious step back. "I suppose there's no point in pretending anymore," he said, his voice carrying new undertones of strength that hadn't been there before. "Yes, I'm from Earth. A Class 12 death world, as you call it." The bridge erupted in panic, but Marcus raised his hand, a simple gesture that somehow commanded instant silence. "But I'm not your enemy," he continued calmly. "I've been working with the Galactic Council for 7 years. I've saved more lives than I've taken. I've helped negotiate peace treaties and prevented 3 wars. Captain Mordak's translator struggled with his rapid clicking. But you're a Deathworlder. You could tear us apart." Marcus smiled, genuinely this time. "Captain, I've been aboard your ship for 6 months. I've had dinner with your family. I've played strategy games with your children. If I wanted to hurt anyone, don't you think I would have done it by now?" The logic was undeniable. Slowly, understanding dawned on the faces around him. "You see," Marcus continued, "this is why I do what I do. Not all Deathworlders are monsters. Some of us just want to help build a better galaxy for everyone." He looked around the bridge at his colleagues, his friends, and saw the beginning of a new understanding in their eyes. "Now then," he said with a grin, "shall we continue our mission to the Andorian negotiations? I believe they're expecting us." And as the Serenity's dawn continued its journey through the stars, Marcus Chen, human, Deathworlder, and diplomat, returned to his duties, no longer hiding what he was, but finally free to show what he could become.